Hello everyone, I'm your speaker. My name is Nafisha Firdaus, did LLB gold medalist from Vinoba Bhave University. Now I am pursuing LLM. I'm so happy to welcome you all in this webinar. This webinar is organized by IYDS India Helping Others. As we know, from the past few months, we are facing tough times due to the pandemic coronavirus. The rapidly spreading virus is touching all aspects of our personal and community life. Our health, civic, social, work, academic, faith, and financial systems are struggling to cope with the uncertainty and the need for rapid readjustment. We are physically distancing ourselves from each other to prevent being infected or spreading the infection. That's why we are taking this webinar online. So today we'll be looking at some topics on the importance of English in our life. Here are the topics. Historical background, importance of language in society, importance of English in India, education in English or regional language. Discrimination should not be done on the basis of language. Top 5 most common speaking languages in the world. Reasons why English is important. And the last one here is how can you enhance your English speaking? So, these are the topics that I'm going to discuss among you. I'll be discussing all the topics one by one. Now, before starting, I just want to say that kindly mention your presence in the comment box so we will be easily identify your presence. And please don't use any slang words in the comment box. Don't let others hurt by your ill words. Be cooperative, positive, and energetic. Stay with me till the end of this webinar. So we will be sharing the feedback link at the end of this webinar. Now, let's move to the topics which is about historical background. First of all, we see its origin. The earliest form of English is called Old English or Anglo-Saxon, 550 to 1166 Common Era. Old English is developed from a set of North Sea Germanic dialects originally spoken along the coast of Frisia, Lower Saxony, Jutland, and southern Sweden, mainly spoken by Germanic tribes and Angles, Saxons, and Jutes. Most closely related to English are the Frisian languages, the English and the Frisian from the Anglo-Frisian subgroup within the West Germany. Old Saxon and its descendant Low German language are also closely related, and sometimes Low German, English, and Frisians are grouped together as the Invenic languages. The West Germanic languages constitute the largest of the three branches of the Germanic family of languages. Three most prevalent West Germanic languages are English, German, and Dutch. So English is West Germanic language that was first originated from Anglo-Frisian dialects brought to Britain in the mid-5th to 7th centuries AD by Anglo-Saxon migrants from what is now northwest Germany, southern Denmark, and Netherlands. It was first spoken in early medieval England and is now a global bridge language. It is an official language of almost 60 sovereign states, most commonly spoken in language in United Kingdom, the United States, Canada, Australia, Ireland, and New Zealand. It is the third most common native languages in the world. English has developed over the course of more than 1,400 years. It's not possible to answer exactly how many languages of the world are there, but around 6,500 languages are spoken in the world today. But do you know which is the oldest language in the world? If you know the answer, then mention in the chat box. And if you don't know the answer of this question, then after listening to me, you will get to know all the answers and all your dots will be cleared. The Tamil language is recognized as the oldest language in the world, and it's the olden language of the Dravidian family. The earliest discovered within writing examples of Tamil date back to 300 BC. However, based on other evidence, scientists believe that it is appeared around 2500 BC. And while it may not be known to a lot of people in our planet, this language had a presence over 500 years ago. According to survey, 1863 newspapers are published in the Tamil language only every day. At present, the number of speakers of Tamil language is around 7.7 million. It is spoken in India, Sri Lanka, Singapore, Malaysia, and so on. Now move to the second topic, which is about its writing system. Let's see. Since the 9th century, English has been written in a Latin alphabet, also called Roman alphabet. Earlier Old English texts in Anglo-Saxon runes are only short inscriptions. The great majority of literary work in Old English that survive today are written in the Roman alphabet. Modern English alphabet contains 26 letters of the Latin script. Now next is transformation of English. Transformation of English language occurred in 3 stages, and the stages are Proto-Germanic to Old Germanic English, Proto-Germanic to Old English, Middle English, and Modern English. Now, see some explanation of Proto-Germanic to Old English. Old English developed from a set of North Sea Germanic dialects. In the 5th century, the Anglo-Saxons settled in Britain, and the Roman withdrew from Britain. By the 7th century, the Germanic language of the Anglo-Saxons became dominant in Britain, replacing the language of Roman Britain. Old English is very different from modern English and difficult for 21st century English speakers to understand. Its grammar was similar to that of modern German. Now, come to the next point, which is Middle English. In the period from 8th to the 12th century, Old English gradually transformed through language contact into Middle English. Middle English is often arbitrarily defined as the beginning of 1066. By the 12th century, Middle English started developing apace. It developed further in the period from 1200 to 1450. In the Middle English period, the use of reasonable dialects in the writing proliferated, and the dialect traits were even used for effect by authors. Now, the transformation is about Modern English. Middle English continued to be spoken until the transition to Early Modern English around 1500. Early Modern English was characterized by the Great Vowel Shift. In the late 18th century, the 13 colonies in North America achieved independence, and the subsequent period saw English became a global, pluricentric languages. In the 20th century, the growing economic and the cultural influence of the US and its status as a global superpower since the Second World War have significantly accelerated the spread of the language across the planet. By the 21st century, English was more widely spoken and written than any language has ever been. Come to the next topic, which is about 3 concentric circles of language. Braj-Kachru. You know who is Braj-Kachru? He was very famous Indian linguist professor. Braj-Kachru distinguishes countries where English is spoken with a 3 circles model. In his model, the inner circle countries are countries with large communities of native speakers of English. The outer circle countries have small communities of native speakers of English, but widespread use of English as a second language in education or broadcasting or for local official purposes in countries like Philippines, Jamaica, India, Pakistan, Singapore, and Nigeria. The expanding circle. The expanding circles countries are countries where many learners learn English as a foreign language in countries like Poland, China, Brazil, Germany, Japan, Indonesia, and Egypt. Before going to the main topic, we must know the importance of language in our society. We know that human being is a social animal. Language is basically a system of communication where sound or sight conveys objects, actions, and ideas. The history of language dates back to many thousands of years. Language is primarily spoken, not written. But the development of writing medium and later the printing system went a long way in the dissipation of language and knowledge, and without which human would have remained in the dark about the ways of life and thought processes of their ancestors. Language is the key to human life. They can eliminate misunderstanding by using it as an instrument to transfer communication among people. Malinowski suggests language is the necessary means of communion. It is one indispensable instrument for creating the ties of the moment without which unified social action is impossible. Language can thus be said to be at the core of humanity. Language is an extraordinary gift of God. It is a part of what makes man fully human. In fact, Aristotle says man is a rational animal and that what sets him apart, what raises him above the animals, is that he has the ability to reason, and it is very clear that he cannot reason without language. Aristotle was convinced, however, that meaning was no less an integral part of the language than sounds which bear the meaning, and that language depends no less on the rational powers of man, by which meanings are constructed, to one physiological organs by which sounds are performed. Language is necessary in order for man to be rational creature. In other words, language is what made the growth of civilization possible. The only means of understanding the great minds of the past is by studying the contemporary written documents of the time. Language is a means of forming and storing ideas as reflection of a reality and exchanging them in the process of human intercourse. Language is a social by nature and thus inseparably connected with people who are its creatures and users. It grows and develops together with the development of the society. Stalin observed about language. It arises and develops with the rise and development of a society. It dies when the society dies. Apart from society, there is no language. Much has been said about the relationship between language and the society. In the history of linguistics, it is rare to find investigations of any language which are entirely cut off from concurrent investigation of the history of that language, or of its regional and social distribution, or of its relationship to objects, ideas, events, and actually speakers and listeners in the real world. It is believed that man's relation with the society is so intimate and close that it is very difficult to isolate from the social environment in which he is born, nurtured, and grown to be a man. Nobody really knows how human speech evolved from animal grunts, but it is true that language and distinguishing characteristics of man and not only differentiates him but also makes him superior to other species. Influential US linguist Noam Chomsky argued that humans born are with the ability to speak a language. He even went on to say that some very general aspects of grammar are built into every human mind, irrespective of nationality. Chomsky believed that human acquired language through an instinctive knowledge. He thought there was a deeper meaning to words, and that was how people learn from them so easily. As Pete Corder, an eminent British linguist, says, the first way we can approach language is a phenomenon of the individual person. It is considered with describing and explaining language as a matter of human behavior. People speak and write, they also evidently read and understand what they hear. They, for not born doing so, they have to acquire these skills. Not everybody seems to develop them to the same degree. People may suffer accidents or disorder which impair their performance. Language is just seen as a part of human psychology, a particular sort of behavior, the behavior which has its principal function, that of communication. Language is a means of conveying ideas to others. This can also, to a certain extent, to be done by the use of gestures and signs. For instance, nodding of the head as a substitute for the word yes, or shaking the head from the side to side instead of saying no. Language is different from signs and gesture because it implies sounds which have meaning for the user as well as the hearers. The sounds of speech are deliberately and intentionally uttered and are therefore to be distinguished from the emotional cries, which are mechanically and intentionally uttered under the influence of joy, fear, anger, or surprise. There are two aspects of language, namely the inner or the relating or the meaning one wishes to express, and the outer one relating to the expression of that meaning throughout the medium of speech. When speaking a language, words are used which serve as outer symbols of the ideas in the mind. If sounds of speech are regarded as a symbol of inner thoughts and ideas, written words can be considered to be the symbols of these thoughts, thus writing becomes a symbol of a symbol. Words are written in such a way as to make them serve as exact symbols of the pronunciation at the time, but the pronunciation of the words of a language keeps changing over time. Spellings usually do not keep pace with the changes in pronunciation. In language, the spoken and gains in importance to the written form. In language, pronunciation does not follow the written form, but the written form, in fact, follows pronunciation. Another important feature of language is that it is evolutionary and never static. Language is the golden rule in pronunciation. Grammar, read, uses of words in any language. Person who live to a ripe old age or looking back at the kind of language he had learned in the schools and comparing it with the knowledge of new and upcoming generation can easily understand how the language has evolved over the years. Language is thus in a constant state of change. It ceases to change only when it has ceased to be spoken or has become a dead language. A spoken language may be said to be a system of arbitrary vocal symbols by means of which human beings communicate and cooperate with one another. In human speech, vocal organs are used for the articulation of definite sounds, which, when arranged according to the set patterns, forms the words of a given language. It is generally the case that there is no natural connection between a linguist form and its meaning. The connection is quite arbitrary. When the word dog is said, there is no way of actually identifying the animal just by looking at or saying the word. The linguist form has no natural or iconic relationship with that hairy four-legged barking object out in the world. However, because of the peculiarities in the movement of the vocal organs and also a variety of other causes, the sequences of ideas used to express different ideas may vary gradually from time to time. Hence, the spoken form of language is liable to undergo change and development from time to time. If a passage of Old English writing is compared with a passage from modern English, the development that the English language has undergone in the last 1,000 years will become evident. The spoken form of any language is followed by its written form. In its most primitive form, writing means the carving, drawing, or painting of various experiences or of symbolic elements representing it. Over time, certain elements in the picture acquired fixed meaning and came to be used as a symbol for corresponding words in spoken language arranged in the order that these words have in speech. When the association between the written symbol and the spoken words become fixed, the symbols may lose its original pictorial value and to deviate from its older form. At this stage, the association has come to be one of the written symbol and spoken sound, regardless of meaning borne by the sound. Later, the symbols are used purely in the phonetic value, and the number of symbols may be lessened to such an extent that there is a particular symbol for every syllable in the spoken language. When comparing the written and spoken forms of language, it is found that while writing has some advantages over speech, the latter enjoys certain other advantages of its own. While speaking, a person can make use of his hands, eyes to ensure a wider range of expressiveness than is possible in using the written language. Speech has been able to achieve subtler variation of meaning than can be expressed in writing. Writing has the advantage of being the more easy to preserve and reproduce. In the spoken language, a listener has to adjust himself to the speed of the speaker, while in writing and the reading, one can either linger over difficult passages or skip over simple or less important poems. It is evident that language is intimately tied to a man's feelings and activity. It is bound with the nationality, religion, and the feeling of self. It is used for work, worship, and play by everyone, poor or rich, savage or civilized. Language does not passively reflect reality. It also creates a certain way in a person's mind about his or her understanding their world. Wittgenstein said, "The limits of my language are the limits of my life." This statement certainly encompasses the importance of language and the ability of it to affect a person's critical thinking. Language opens up a world of understanding as pointed out in the book. Critical thinking. Language is the landscape of our mind. It is the mountains and forests as well as the cities and roads. It both carries the content and structure, the form. Language is to be learnt at it does not come automatically like walking, running, eating, etc. A child isolated from society will learn to walk but will never learn to talk. Moreover, the child picks up the language of his environment. A baby born in Assam but brought up in Bengal will learn Bengali with the felicity of the natives. When two strangers come face to face, they normally start talking about some neutral and general topic like the weather. This is how human beings strike up a relationship. Moreover, by making small talk or beginning a conversation, it is possible to collect information about the concerned party. Language also plays a very important role in group identification, group solidarity, and signaling of difference. Language itself a mirror of society. Language itself is a mirror of society. The value of society can be reflected in its language. One way in which this happens is through taboo words. Taboo is considered with behavior which is supernaturally forbidden or regarded as immoral or improper. In language, taboo words refer to words not said or not used. Every language has taboo words, and if the particular rules regarding the use of taboo words are not adhered to, it can lead to punishment or a public shame. In fact, taboo words reflect the value of belief of a particular society. In the English language, taboo words are associated with sex expression or Christian language. At times, alternate words come into vogue because of similarity of pronunciation to taboo words. For example, 20 Americans prefer to use the word toaster rather than cock because of its sexual connotation. As mentioned earlier, language undoubtedly holds the key to socialization. Common speech can serve as a symbol of social solidarity among the speakers of the language. Moreover, there are certain sub-forms of a language which can be identified with a particular group like a family unit or maybe young group, club members, underworld dons, or labor union. These groups develop their own peculiarities of speech, and this in turn differentiates them from the larger group. Within the confines of a family, a particular name or term like ba could be mispronounced as baba and then retain that particular form forever. Within that particular family unit, this form becomes symbolic of the solidarity. Similarly, certain short forms or abbreviated terms are understood with a particular groups of friends or maybe the members of a club. Now, come to the next topic, which is about language and culture. Language is a social institution, both shaping or shaped by society at large, or in particular the culture's life, in which it plays an important role. Language is not an autonomous construct, but social practice both creating and created by the structures and forces of the social institution within which men live and function. Duranty defines culture as something learned, transmitted, passed on from one generation to the next. Though 21 human actions, often in the form of face-to-face interaction, and of course, though linguistic communication, it becomes evident from this that language plays a pivotal role in culture transmission. It is true that there are various forms of culture preservation like architecture, painting, music, etc. However, language is the most dynamic of them all. Facts about language are handed down from person to person and from generation to another through cultural transmission. Man's competence helps him to master the unique features of a particular language. That thus it is seen that language is the outcome of evolution and convention. Like most human institution, language also charge and die, grow and expand. Language is acquired by human beings and is non-instinctive. It is believed that due to language, man become man. Language also has a great role to play in culture accumulation and historical transmission. A great deal of the cultural stock in trade of primitive society is presented in a more or less well-defined linguistic form. Proverbs, medicine, formula, standardized prayer, folk tales, standardized speeches, song texts, genealogies are some of the more overt forms which language takes as a culture-preserving instrument. When modern civilization is viewed, it is found that it is replete with schools, libraries, and other stores of knowledge, opinions, and sentiments. But at the same time, the realization dawns that all this would be impossible without language made internal as document. Every system of storing uses language, be it drama, printing books, proverbs, symbols, or music. It has been the constant endeavor of human beings to gain more knowledge about this world. Language makes this possible by providing a medium to express, reason, and make sense of human perceptions. Now come to the next topic, language and nation building. This is the most important thing as it talks about the nation building. Language is known to be as old as human society, whereas the concept of nation is of fairly recent origin. Language facilitates social communication and helps nurture mutual cooperation. Nation is a product of intense social communication and cooperation. This person equates nation with a linguistic community. He asserts, you must understand by nation merely a linguistic unit, a linguistic community, linguistic unity. Writes, just person depends always on intercourse, on a community of life. The development of any nation will come to a standstill without a medium of communication like language. Karl Dech, in his book Nationalism and its Alternative, has defined nations as a community of shared meaning, or more broadly still, a group of people who have interlocking habits of communication. Joseph Stalin has also held a similar view when he states a national community is inconceivable without a common language. Dech has made it clear that without communication, social structuring all amongst human beings would become impossible. Thus, he states that richer their cooperation in producing tangible goods and services, in developing highly developed society, and developing and sharing intangible treasures of knowledge, art, and values, the greater their needs for rich, varied, quick, and accurate accumulation. A nation today may be of two types. a monolingual or cultural homogeneous nation, or a multilingual and cultural heterogeneous nation, that is nation with a multiple of nationalities. The important fact is that whether monolingual or multilingual, what is essentially social communication, as Stalin suggests, a nation is formed only as a result of lengthy and systematic intercourse, as a result of people living together generation after generation. To make a nation globally competitive, the study and knowledge of a foreign language is important. There has been a mushrooming of English medium schools around the world, in spite of the fact that the continuous use of English as a nation's lingua franca is tantamount to perpetuating colonialism and imperialism. Yet there is no alternative indigenous language that can assume the role of English. Whoever controls a language controls a culture. Lieberman stated that it is impossible to think of any aspect of human culture or human behavior that would be unchanged if language did not exist. This informs the submission of Isaias that language is a nation's most obvious and most important attribute. There is no such thing as a nation without common linguistic basis. The dominant inference from Isaiah's observation is that for national integration, cohesion, and development, there must be a language acceptable to all in running nations' affairs. However, as Stalin argued that a common language for every nation doesn't mean that there cannot be two nations speaking the same language. For example, English is in vogue both in the UK and USA, yet they are different nations. In Protagoras' view, language is nothing more than a tool of power capable of creating civilization and controlling them. Protagoras believe that man is the measure of all things, that they are, that they are not, that they are not. What he means is that what man say makes what is be what it is. For Protagoras, to bring something into words is to bring it into being. He brings forth the point that were it not for language, as civilization would not be possible. Had human lacked the skills necessary for interpersonal communication, each man would live like animals, barely able to provide for himself all the necessities for survival, according to the Thomas Hobbes. Language is used to describe the world, but also to convey attitudes as well as make promises and contracts. When human beings come together in large groups, contracts and laws must be made to maintain the well-being of the population. The making of contract is simply to ensure that each citizen in the state uphold their promise to contribute a meaningful way to the provision of the needs of the state as fully integrated whole. It is easy to visualize an idealistic, self-providing utopia where everyone is trusting and trustworthy. However, humans cannot function together in a society with a great number of people because man has been the case. The lawmakers, the law enforcers must be put into place to uphold the laws and contracts, thereby upholding the ideas and well-being of the fully integrated community. In a multilingual society, the problem of forging head is of crucial importance. Among the competing languages that scramble for official status, whether indigenous or foreign, one must emerge as the official language, or for the purpose of uniting the nation. Many countries have encountered the challenges of nation building in the face of a variety of knowledge and a variety of languages. The choice of a language becomes very difficult when multiple languages coexist in a country. Move to the next point. Language and education. Education and language are closely interrelated because the content of education is passed on through the medium of language. Education is a dynamic process which helps to mold the personality, the character and behavior of a person in a positive direction. It helps young people to mold themselves and also carve a niche for themselves in society. According to Ottaway, education is a process of preparing people to fit into the complex social culture and to play particular social roles as members of more than one institutional group. Education can be said to be a social institution charged with cultural and social reproduction, that is, with the education of children and youth for individual and social survival. Recent scientific and technological advancements have given a totally new dimensions to education. Without the help of language, there is no way in which education can be imparted in modern times. In ancient times, there was the oral transmission of knowledge, and even that would not have been possible without the help of language. In developed society, there is a stress on formal education, which is imparted in schools and other institutions of higher education. Now, language diversity. Language is the main source which have been gifted to all human beings. Human beings have broken the code in this unique and complicated, diverse world that they live in. Language diversity contributes to the very existence of men. It clearly demonstrates the will and perseverance for survival that is continuously changing in varied conditions. The loss of any language brings a potential threat to the existence of human beings as a collective. Globally, the role of language has become increasingly vital and a sensitive subject. Language is such a powerful tool that it can build or destroy a person or a country. The ability to have huge data bank of words and to be able to formulate the words intelligently is part of critical thinking. It is language which paves the way and develops the process of thinking and expression. It is essentially to know what it means and how to use and interpret the meaning. Now, move to the next point. Different uses of language. Language is undoubtedly a vital means of verbal communication, and it is often said that it is the language which makes humans. Language involves interpersonal communication, which includes language within the individual and the language and society. Together, as a family, as a society, or a country, speakers of the same dialect all share an immediate sense of recognition. As a result, men inevitably transcend and perpetuate their traditions, myths, and regional via the societal functions of their respective language. Language is used in everyday thought processes and also to blend into societies and perpetuate lifestyle. The pillar stones of any society are its population and human potential, both of which rely greatly on the presence of communication in the form of language. Communication of ideas and emotion is essentially for the development of society, and this has been made possible because of the formation of language. Language has assisted society in many ways due to the domino effect of the benefits achieved from the opportunity to communicate. The common conversation exchange of words and thoughts that forms and maintains societal relationship in everyday life is intentional communication. Language has a great role to play in interpersonal communication and also in communication within individual humans and within human society. Therefore, language plays a very important role in human life. Communication can be either intentional or unintentional. Succinctly, language within the individual supports thought, rationalization, and attribution, creativity, memory, self-directional, self-expression, humor, and perhaps even aspects of conciseness. Within human evolution, the need for language and communication becomes evident. It became almost like an organic need. Communication is necessary and vital to man, just like the intake of water and food is essential for survival of mankind. In a nation, A Word for Everything, written by Helen Keller, she describes her expression as a deaf and blind child trying to understand language and communication. After she learns that words have been meaning and symbolic messages, she is able to use language not only to communicate her ideas but also to expand her language. I learned from words, more words, my field of inquiry broadened, and I would return again and again to the same subject, eager for more information. As she learns the basic concept of knowledge, she is able to experience a scholarship that helps her become an intelligent person. Malcolm X described how his language and intellect was expanded through his studies of language in his essay, Homemade Education. When imprisoned in jail, he feels a need to be able to express himself better and more accurately. So he studied the language by memorizing words and their meanings from a dictionary. Just like Keller, through language, he is able to broaden his 35 knowledge. Anyone who has read a great deal can imagine the new world that opened. Both of these scholars became knowledgeable through their studies and exposure to language. When a person reads about history or mechanics or even reads the newspaper, she begins formulating their own ideas. This causes a person to take action to improve a certain situation. Because of this, humans have evolved as a highly intelligent society and are able to use language not only to communicate with each other but are able to enlighten and educate themselves. They are able to not only share ideas but also to formulate their own, thus helping the human race to continue evolving. Language distinguishes from men from the animal world. Because of language, men can share ideas, educate themselves, and improve their lives. Language helps the society to keep evolving. Evolving language has allowed for society to be built not upon strength and physical domination, but on cooperation and the exchange of ideas. Language is omnipresent throughout the human society today. Without language, men would have been like apes, pointing fingers at what they see. importance of English in India. See, accent is not important in English. Important is that how we are speaking, correctly or not. It's not important that you speak English with a UK or US accent. Many people in the UK speak a variety of international accents. English speakers are accustomed to hearing different accents. Not at all important, not there is such a thing as a standard English accent in any case. So it's important to speak correctly and clearly. We need to know to communicate effectively to many developed countries. English is very much important in our life. Language is always very important because it is a means of communication. If you can't speak the language of a place, it will be very difficult to communicate with the people. Has undergone significant change locally to carry much of the communicative burden of Indian society. Here we see that people's attitude to what they consider as a language have changed a lot. The need to learn a language emerges from the point of view of its adaptability, effectiveness, utility, universality, and ability to teach. Indian expression makes Indian English different from American English. There is an obvious point that most people speak Hindi in India, but realistically, English is the language of choice around the world today. One good thing we did, though many bad things happened during the British rule, one good thing is we absorbed the language. Today, many educated Indians can speak better English than Britishers can speak. Indian expression marks its originality or essence along with English language. Used extensively in education, law, governments, media, science, and technology. As we know, English is an important bridge language with the rapid advancement of technology. Education in English has also become the part of today's world. We see English in every field like law, government, for easy access to any data in today's information. Superhighway environment for access to world, media and entertainment and world of technology too. They are innovations enriching English in terms of creating its global appeal. English is like a trade for the world in almost all countries where English is not the first language, it's a second language status to approach. The main goal of studying every language is to gain simple language for day-to-day interaction. Now come to the third topic, which is education in English or regional language. This is the most common question I come across all over the world. See, we must understand this. English is spoken worldwide, but we should not forget our regional languages. We should give importance to this also. We all know that a full-fledged language is not an overnight happening, and at least 25 to 30 full-fledged languages with a script of their own, with a huge body of literature behind it. In order to get a job, we consider English as a superior language, but we don't have to completely destroy regional languages. We will lose out something very, very big. So, in our eagerness to get a job and better wages for MNCs in a fantastic thing in terms of its simplicity, because of internet and modern technology has taken to English language. I hope all the participants are getting my points clearly. Now give a glance to the second point. Today, many educated Indians can speak better English than most Britishers can speak. Today's scenario has changed. We were introduced to native language in every sense of the word. When Indians were tutored by British masters, this is why nobody can be against English anymore. You've got to take it. Even if you don't like the Britishers, you have to like the English language. It's part of your language now. And Indians too have started speaking English like the Britishers. Here comes the third point. We should never kill regional languages, which have been there for thousands of years, because the phonetic range that is in their Indian language, it's a good thing to know English, but at the same time, we should never kill regional or other languages which have been there for thousands of years. It stimulates every aspect of who you are. English languages have a very narrow phonetic range, so this ability to use sounds It stimulates and triggers one's intelligence, and it's something that we do not give up. Here, the next point is every child must know one more language other than English, whatever that is. True to the point itself, because anyway, or our states are divided on linguistic basis. So in that state, whatever the language is, they must know. In our over enthusiasm for employment oriented education, we know many schools are completely destroying the local languages. This should not be happen. It must be a part of you because communication is successful only when a communicator is sufficiently able to interact with clarity, integrity, frankness, and dynamism. At least people should know how to speak and read. If not, then you're not a great. You must know one more other language than English. The problem is that our education policy has taken that into consideration. It's the responsibility of every school to ensure that happens, and I feel this easy way to do this in a form of art, entertainment, where there's a natural interest in how to express themselves in that languages. We should not kill these languages because it has taken thousands of years to create it. This is our national pride. In earlier times, when people used to trade and travel other countries, they learned the other languages, but they always kept their regional languages too. But today's new generations are losing their languages. So we have to preserve this. Otherwise, we will regret this deeply after a couple of generations. If we don't take care of it now, we can't bring back a language. You can kill it, but you can't breathe life into it. It's very and very, very difficult. Now, come to the next topic, which is discrimination should not be done on the basis of language. Every language has its own spark. There is an obvious point. Most people speak Hindi, Urdu, Spanish, Japanese, etc. Every language has their importance and essence on them. Every language has their own beauty, like every person has its own taste and preferences, meaning that some people like French, whereas others don't like it. Many people speak Hindi in India. More nations have speak Spanish, Japanese, French as their mother tongue. So when a person is said to be speaking in their native language, it refers to the person language that she learned from birth, which means that a person learns not only to speak the language, but also gain the ability to know the communicative and linguistic aspects of it by heart. If someone knows or speaks Hindi or regional language, it doesn't mean he is inferior. We in India, majority of the people speaks in their regional languages or Hindi, but how the irony of the society prevails. When any foreigner speaks Hindi in an improper way, we do not make fun of him. In fact, we praise them or we appreciate their efforts. But at the same time, when any Indians speaks English improperly, we started making fun of them and often called him Sylvain. This is the world that hundreds of millions of Indians live in simple because of the elite prefer English languages. This discrimination has become so systematic that the elite and the middle classes send their children to English private schools, while the vast poor send theirs to the government schools of their mother tongue. This is very sad that as more and more people are getting attracted to Western culture, they are forgetting about the speciality of our country. It's good to appreciate other cultures, but blindly following them and forgetting our own is totally not acceptable. People nowadays measured by how they talk and in which language. Their status is measured by how well you can speak English. So here it goes. Languages are not a parameter of someone's intelligence. If English solely was a sign of intelligence, then I believe the Japanese, German, and Chinese would have never disrupted the world with their innovations. With this, we can definitely say that all Indians who can't speak English are not inferior to those who can, but English is important as well. This is so pathetic, so we should not enhance or appreciate our language along with the others too. Now, come to the next topic, which is about 5 top most common speaking languages in the world. The first one here is Mandarin Chinese. As we know, Chinese is the most spoken languages in the world in respect of population. It is spoken in China and countries of East Asia. It belongs to Chinese Tibetan language family and is actually a group of languages and dialects. The standardized Chinese is actually a language called Mandarin. This language is 1200 years old even before the arrival of Jesus. Currently, about 1.2 billion speak Chinese. The second one is Spanish. Spanish is a Romance language that originated in Iberian Peninsula of Europe, spoken in US, Mexico, Colombia, Spain, Venezuela, Argentina, etc. The third one here is English. English is the West Germanic languages. As I said earlier, English is spoken in USA, India, Pakistan, Nigeria, UK, Germany, and so on. The next one is Hindi. Hindi is an Indo-Aryan language. It is the main language in India, spoken in India, Nepal, US, Mauritius, Maldives, and so on. And the last one is Arabic. This language is found in Hebrew. It is spoken in Iraq, Iran, Syria, Israel, Lebanon, and modern Yemen. Mostly spoken in Islamic countries. Another most important topic here is reasons. Reasons why English is important. Well, consider how English influenced might impact into your life. English open new career opportunities. English is the dominant business language as it has become almost necessity for people to speak English. If you add excellent knowledge of English on your CV, you will get a dream job. Research shows that all businessmen works conduct in English, and many international companies expecting employees to be fluent in English. Global companies such as Airbus, Daimler, Nokia, Renault, Samsung, and Microsoft, etc. So the importance of English in the international marketplace cannot be understated. Here comes the second point. It's the powerful means of expression. English is one of the most powerful, effective instrument of expression. No other language in the world which has a richer vocabulary than English. Every year, 10,000 new words are added to the new English dictionary. It throbs with new life. Next, easily traveling in the world. Being able to speak English makes it easy to travel because English is the first or second language in many different countries. It is always easy to find people as well as printed information, especially at hotels and frequented by tourists. In most hotels, at least one employee speaks English. This makes easier to the customers to get what they need. Moreover, you will find some of your best interaction with the people on the streets who are trying to sell you something. Now see the next point, an international currency of speech. English also has the unrivaled position as a world language, like in social interaction and diplomacy, all political conferences, economic treaties, and scientific discourses. Now, English gives wider access to knowledge, key to scientific knowledge, and advanced learning. Many schools and universities worldwide are offering an increasing number of courses totally exclusively in English. It gives students access to information and researches. Since many of the top academic journals are published in English, students and academics need strong reading and writing skills to better understand and take advantages of it. English gives you access to world of entertainment, TV, media, internet, etc. Many of the world's top films, books, and music are produced in English. Therefore, by learning English, you will have access to a great help of entertainment and will be able to get a better cultural understanding. You won't need to rely on translation and subtitles anymore to enjoy your favorite books, music, and films and TV shows. Next point here is English tests can get you into school. If you learn English well enough to pass tests like the TOEFL, you can study in English language university across the world. If you want to move to an English-speaking region or work in one, a student visa can get you there. Or you may simply want to take a few classes abroad. A successful English test will show colleges and universities that you are ready. The TOEFL noted is one of the most common English proficiency tests. Others include IELTS and the Cambridge exams. Some colleges or languages centers even offer classes to help you practice for these tests. Even if you don't need to take a test for a specific reason, or have already graduated from college, studying for an English test can still really help you improve your language skills. It will teach you all the essential skills needed to communicate in English. And if you end up passing the test, it means your English has become very strong. Now, the next point here is English is the top language of the internet. As you know, English is the most used language online, with nearly 1 billion users typing and chatting in the language. If you can understand and read English, you will be able to access and enjoy many more resources online. You can leave on the comments on the English video. You can read online news articles. You can understand tweets from English-speaking celebrities. You can participate in a discussion on a forum. The possibilities are endless. Obviously, this is helpful if you're just using the internet to browse and have fun. But many people and businessmen also need to conduct research, market themselves, or communicate and develop connections online. English will be crucial for success. Obviously, this is helpful if you are just using the internet to browse and have fun. Email is also now a very common way to talk with people all over the world. Email is the primary way for many companies to communicate with customers or other businesses. Being able to write emails or other correspondence in English is another important action for employers. Whether it is fun or for work, if you can understand English, you will be able to communicate with more people online or use many more materials. And the next point here, learning English can make you smarter. On top of all these benefits, learning a new language such as English helps your brain function in new ways. Literally, research shows that English learning a new language changes your mind structure. Don't worry, it is not a good way. Impacts the parts of your brain that are responsible for memory, conscious thought, and more. Put simply, learning a new language can make your brain stronger and more versatile, improving the way you think. Researchers also show that bilingualism can keep the brain strong and healthy into old age and helps with memory, concentration, and other skills. It can also help you standardize tests, that is TOEFL, IELTS, and many more. If you learn English, you could read a book in English, take a class in English, or do all kinds of other things. This will open up pathways to the many other experiences. You will learn new things and make you feel smarter. Well, what are you waiting for? It's really flexible. English is really flexible. Non-native English speakers who learn it as second language often comment on how many ways there are to say things. That's because English doesn't discriminate. You can use it however you like. Countries like Singapore have taken this concept to heart, inventing an entirely new type of English called Singlish that has absorbed facets of other languages like Chinese and Malaysian. It's the language of the internet. Selfie, hashtagging, blogging, smashwell, etc. All these words are new to the English language, but have already become valued members of the lexicon. More than any other language, English continues to evolve and absorb new words that branch out, often untranslated into other languages. Every year, approximately more than 10,000 new approved words are added to the Oxford Dictionary. This tremendous development is a result due to the technology, social media, and how people spontaneously coin new words during daily life. More information you can find in, whereas the English is important in the history of the language. So, I must say, English is an incredible language. You should develop the habit of speaking English in your daily life. Here, some of the points are given to enhance your English speaking life. You can read the newspapers, articles, and keep pocket dictionary, as it's very helpful to add up your vocabulary. You can also use the words in a conversation because it is connecting language. You can stay between people. You should always also enhance your vocab by forming something of a study group, which is very effective. Watch English news, movies, TV shows, etc. Develop the habit of paying close attention to English conversation. And the most important, it is to practice in front of mirror for at least 15 to 20 minutes a day. As we know, practice makes a man perfect. By concluding this topic, we must say that English language is our big window on the world. That English is not just a connecting language in India, but in the world as well. As English is spoken so commonly, it is referred to as a world language. So here I'm ending this session with the best of luck to all of you and thanks for attending this webinar and your active participation. Because of the lockdown, IYD is organizing through online workshop. Link will be shared at the end of this webinar. We are going to share the feedback link in the chat box. Certificates will be awarded only to the active participants within a week. You will receive certificate link in your WhatsApp group. So don't leave the group until you get the certificate. Thank you. Take care. Have a nice day and best of luck. Here one last sentence to know your worth from my side. Valuable treasure is hidden under everyone's brain. Valuable treasure is hidden under everyone's brain, but there should be an eye to search them. Take care. Bye.